So yeah, cats. They turn wild. Well, straight as a job. No. So there's some walls that I did. Did the last year was amazing. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Watch the lips. You're on the channel that's locked. Well, that's really okay, right? Yes. I'd like to welcome everybody here. We'll call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Roll call.
Eldon Larson, Dayton Flake,
Here.
Karsten Flake,
I'm here.
Kat Hansen,
Here.
Lexi Nelson.
Here.
Hey, do I have a volunteer to lead us in the pledge of allegiance? Dayton? Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do I have a volunteer to lead us in the invocation?
Our gracious Heavenly Father, as we come before thee at the beginning of this meeting, help us to make the decisions that are best for the community and for the school. We're grateful for those who serve and work and help with this community and district. And we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
Yes, I will make a motion that we approve the agenda as is outlined.
Second.
Thank you, Karsten. Any discussion you need? You need me to move around? Okay, sounds good. Call for the vote. Karsten?
Yes.
Lexi?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Yes. Myself, yes. Thank you. You're up with the minutes. Make a motion that we approve the minutes for the March 10th regular school board meeting. You have a second?
We'll second it.
And any discussion needed? Motions need to be made? All right, call for the lesson.
Yes.
Kat?
Yeah.
Yes. Myself, yes.
Yes.
We approve the minutes. We're ready for the minutes, not good this time for Wednesdays. Why do they do that? And brings us to Mr. Fields, Superintendent's report.
Yes, thank you. We actually have some special guests here tonight, and I want to start my report by giving them the opportunity to present and tell you a little bit about what they're here representing. So to start off, Mrs. Bushman, would you like to tell us a little bit about the STEM trip you guys took to EAC?
Sure. So in the past few years, Julie Randall actually wrangled me to take students down to EA for their skills day years and years ago. And I thought it was a stupid thing, but I went. I was proven wrong. Skills day was absolutely fantastic. Last year they decided because of so Skills Day consisted of welding and autos and languages and theater, as well as STEM stuff. But there were so many students that would attend, they decided to break it up and just keep Skills Day, but then have a STEM Day as well. We did not attend last year because they did it in the fall, and I'm like, nobody knows anything in the fall, and it's brand new year. I still don't even know where I am. So this year I took students down to STEM Day. I was allowed to take 4 teams, and consisting of 3 to 4 people. I also took my 3 A&P students down. I have an arrangement with Tammy Gillespie, who's the anatomy physiology professor down there, that I can take my A&P students down and she will go over the cadaver with them because I don't have a cadaver here. So it's a fantastic opportunity for them, and we've done that for the past few years. So I did not know what to expect with STEM Day. I kind of knew what the competition was with Skills Day. It was like dissecting and labeling all the parts and doing a chemistry experiment and doing all the calculations. So I thought it would be somewhere along those lines. And it was completely different and much more difficult. I invited a certain number of students to participate, and all but one decided to participate with us. So Peyton Bushman, Justin Gardner, Lucy Hancock, and Benson Moss got 3rd place in the chemistry competition. Emma Faulkner, Rosemary Fisher, Kylie Hansen, and Michael Ross got 2nd place in the chemistry competition. Brianna Warner, Iris Powers, and Caleb Case got 2nd in the biology competition. And the Earth and Space competition, Kiara, I can never say the Italian exchange student, let's just leave it at that. Case Fish, Kathleen Gardner, and Caden Gardner, who is a freshman, they got 1st place in the Earth and Space Science competition. They were each awarded a $24,000 scholarship to EA if they choose a STEM focus. If they choose not a STEM focus, it's still $500. I talked with the Dean of STEM and Health, and I said, hey, I've got a girl here that she's from Italy. Are you going to honor it? He's like, yes, we will honor it. And I'm like, is there an expiration? He said, nope, no expiration. And I'm like, cool. And it was really cool on that 4-hour bus ride back to see the kids and the differences that they were sleeping on the way down and the excitement coming back. I think we were up against the 3 large schools from the Gila Valley. And so Sholo was there, St. John's was there, some other larger schools. And they were blown away by us. In fact, says hi.
Oh, yeah.
He was running the biology competition down there. But all of their professors that headed up each section pulled me aside and just said that they were flabbergasted at our students. One of the students, all the students that I asked to go down are extremely good students. There's a student I asked to go down that if you look at his grades, you would not think he's a very good student. But he's the type of student that I teach something in chemistry one time and he teaches everybody else. And I said, you're coming down. And he was on the team that got 2nd place in chemistry. So very good experience. We will be going down again next year. This time I took my A&P students down with the STEM because I'm like, I am off so many days, like because of other stuff coming up. I'm not going to take another day to go down for a skills day. I will change that next year because I want my A&P students to have the opportunity to compete for scholarships as well. So I'll go down twice next year.
Wow, really sounds impressive. Thank you. Is the team all here, ready to go, or not yet?
We have a couple more minutes, I think we can
Sure. If we could just reserve the right to come back to them, maybe after a few other, we'll just come back to my report. We can just move on to maybe call it, unless you want to go through my report for a few minutes.
Go ahead and go through your report.
I really didn't have anything to add to it, but I've listed some of the SFD projects that are in place and ready to get funded. If not, soon. It'll be in the new fiscal year. There's a couple of plans on reducing budgets. That is technology and custodial that I've attached to my report. And a few other items. Our solar update and where we're at with that. You can see what we made this year, and also, I don't know. Yeah, one of the attachments I made to my report was a chart that shows basically what every year is. It's, in an Excel sheet, and believe in my report. Let's see. Jcusd solar year 11. So you can see what it's offsetting now, and therefore I think make an estimate of what the district could expect to save in 2029, 2030, depending on when it was officially commissioned. But other than that, and there is a little bit of good news with NAVIT. Those numbers have increased, so that's good, and it'll generate a little bit more funding for those programs. Yes, go ahead. All yours.
Keep coming.
Stand in front of me. Plenty of room.
Thank you for inviting us here and recognizing us tonight. It's a great honor. We're very appreciative of your support. And I'd like to mention that most of these are varsity, but we do have 2 JV here. Without JV, you can't have varsity, you can't have any success anywhere. So ladies, thanks for coming and supporting as well. We're grateful to the support of the school board. I know that I get questions throughout the season, and after the season, it's nice to always, after the championship game, for example, to see how many of you reached out and said congratulations or things like that. So we appreciate that. We're grateful to we've got a great administration, the custodians and everybody up there at the high school treated us quite nice. The transportation department took some good care of us. Amazing season for us, 33-3. The 3 teams we lost to. First one was St. John's, and they won the 2A state championship. We lost to Chinley, who was number 7 in the 3A, and they got knocked out in the quarterfinals. And then the last team we lost to was Window Rock, who was the 3A state champion in the ups. So we're pretty pleased with how we did with that. But here we go. Those 2 will answer any questions you have. So, but it's a great honor to coach these young ladies. We spend a lot of time together. We have lots of fun. Maybe just a couple of stats. Our average points per game this year was 54.8, and we held our opponents to 28.5 points. We averaged 34 rebounds a game, which is really cool until you see that we are 16 of those were offensive. So maybe we'll work on some shooting. But it don't matter, does it? It don't matter. We shot from the 3-point line 21%. 2 points were 46%. Of free throws were 58%. But yeah, it's not totally wrong. But one of the coolest things about this team is every year we have the opportunity to recognize academic success, and they call it the All Academic Team, sponsored by Sports 360. 9 of our ladies have a 3.5 GPA or higher, and we made on to that honorable mention to.
What's the average GCA?
For our team? No.
Way to ask the hard question.
We only had one struggle at one point with grade check, which is actually
That's amazing.
Well, it's actually disappointing because girls could never have, we never had them. So we let them know for sure and they're still here, at the moment, so. But, any questions,
The board?
Next year?
next year will be next year.
Good answer.
So, last people I'd like to think of the assistant coaches, we're missing Aaron Neal, and their spouses they put in. They put in all kinds of time, so we're very grateful for them and we're the biggest compliment that I can give these girls. This is the most cohesive team I've ever coached. If you coach, then you know how big of a struggle it is to get a team to come together, enjoy being around each other. It did not matter who was on the floor, who was on the bench. Everybody cheered the entire time and celebrated for each other. When I say there was relatively no drama, there was literally no drama. Like there was ups and downs, as there always be, but very proud of this team. I'm very excited to see where they go and what they do next. So 6 seniors are leaving us, and then we got to do a shout out also to Amber and Andre. They both signed yesterday with Yavapai College for a full ride scholarship.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Guys.
No. Did anybody have any questions here, Brian, on his report? Okay. Call the vote.
We have Daniel Hutchins.
That the only one? Was that the only one? Okay. Daniel, you're up. We need to play that.
Permission to approach the bench.
Do we need to play that?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we do. Sorry, Aaron. Check out here.
Board may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. As a result of public comment, will be limited to directing staff to study the matter or scheduling the matter for a future agenda.
Okay,
Ready?
yep, we're ready.
So I gave you a copy. I wrote this down so there's no discrepancy on what I'm about to say. Thank you for allowing me to address you and thank you for your service as board members. I do appreciate your service and time on behalf of the students, staff and students of Joseph City Unified School District. It's been brought to my attention that in the past that I made a comment or comments that have caused a board member or members to have negative thoughts of me. Please know that if I have offended you in an action or word that caused you to not feel comfortable, I humbly apologize for these actions and words and ask for your forgiveness. Those that know me well know that I do not seek to cause pain or suffering for others. I do the totally opposite. I strive to be perfect, but I am human and am nowhere as good as I would like to be. Daily, I strive to be better. I appreciate your patience with me. I would like to share a story from my life that shows the blessing of forgiveness and demonstrates how I work to live my life. I moved to Joseph City in 1994. I had 4 cherished items that I brought with me. They were my new car, my trumpet, my TV, and my nice new stereo. The stereo is one like you saw in homes in the 80s and 90s, the CD and the tape decks and the big old speakers. As you well know, the first few years in Joseph City Schools, I taught band and choir. I needed a way to duplicate tapes and to also better control the tapes that were playing while we were practicing. So I took my remote control, super nice double cassette tape deck to my choir room. It was great to have it there and use it. Well, it was not much longer. We had a concert. During concert, the band room is typically left open as students are coming and going. As a director, I'm usually on the stage once a concert starts and very rarely return to the room. After the concert was complete and we were putting things away, I noticed my cassette deck was gone. I was very frustrated. That first, someone would steal something from our band room. And second, that it was my own nice cassette deck. I didn't have another one or the money to replace it. In time, I let it go, and I forgave the person, even though I did not even know who the person that took it was. About 2 years passed, and we were asked to help a person in town load up their home as they were moving to a new place. All the rooms were empty except for the teenage son's bedroom. I walked in the bedroom, and there it was, my stolen tape deck. At moments like this, you have two main options: say something or say nothing. I had already forgiven this person, even though at the time I did not know who it was. So I was not going back to the land of frustration and bitterness. The teenage boy handed me the tape deck, and I took it and loaded it with their other things in the truck. I never said anything to the boy or the parents about the situation. I also never purchased another cassette deck. I use this as a reminder to me to forgive and let go. I felt peace even after I knew where my cassette deck was and who had it. I hope that you can find the same peace in your life. As a master teacher stated, let he without sin cast the first stone. I do not intentionally cast stones at others, as I have my own troubles to worry about, and I invite us all to do the same. And I can honestly say that I hold no malice toward anyone on this earth. If I dropped dead walking out of here, I would escape free on that one. Once again, I invite you to forgive me for words or actions that have happened in the past and work to now live in a happier and holier place. Thank you for your time and service.
Thank you.
Brings us to consent agenda. Items number 6A through 6F. Make the motion that we approve the consent agenda items as they are listed.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Let's see which ones they are. Okay, I'll keep vote. Yeah,
Yes.
Dayton, yes. Myself, yes.
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 Karsten, thanks. Let's see. It moves us to 8A. Motion that we approve the personnel request as presented.
Second.
Discussion. Okay, sounds good. And Dayton? Yes. Myself, yes.
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, that moves us to 8B. I will make a motion that we approve the request to retire and return to work as presented. Any discussion? Call to the vote, myself, yes. Karsten, Lexi?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Make a motion that we include the employee benefits and health insurance for 2026-27. Well, thank you. Okay. Steven, look at that.
Yeah, Steve, will you click on the insurance rate attachment?
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't know how big it'll show up here, but here's a recommendation. Insurance next year that would eliminate, well, this isn't the one that shows that. Is it? Yeah, okay. On the left-hand side, those columns, they show what the plan. This year we had a gold plan and very few employees used it. So the plan next year, the recommendation is to add an HSA plan. The district would still cover the total amount of an employee under the HSA, either plan.
No, this one here, if you
Okay.
can see where my pointer is.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah,
So that's the one that would be absolutely no increase or no, nothing out of pocket for the employee for the basic coverage. There's still deductibles, high deductibles in these plans. But we think this might be a better fit, for options from a lot of our employees. And, at the end of this, I think the increase of the district is on the bottom of the document there. So, yeah. Is it Steve? What?
Oh, gosh, I thought it was, I'm sorry,
It's 12,
it's about 10,
between 10 and 12,000.
Yeah.
I usually, yeah.
oh, here it is, right here.
Yeah, there you go. So, but there, the other document that's attached is, some comparisons of another option or two that we could do.
I like comparisons.
Okay, let's see it, Steve.
See, oh, yeah.
Sorry. Seeing it here.
My report also had some, the comparisons of, like, if we kept the plan exactly the same and just picked up the total increase of the insurance, so it would be the same for the employees. More expensive, around 34,000. But, you can see on the left here is the current, and that the one on the right, the option one, is the option recommending. The green, is a little bit better, those percentages for those plans. However, the red is an increase, so that's how you can single out how it may affect a certain employee or a group of employees.
So there'd be 3 plans on the new one, basically.
Yeah.
Silver, HSA A and then HSA B.
Yeah, HCHP, yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, they both have HSAs with them, correct?
yes. And the other option is on the next page, Steve.
Oh, yeah, that was the only one.
Oh, and that,
I'm sorry,
but
but I've got it with me if you want to.
well, go to my report, please. I have it.
Okay,
And these are rough numbers, that were done when we first researched SIP, but I have it in my report.
okay, let's see.
Insurance options.
Oh,
And it's sideways, but can you turn it or no? Looks like that.
Should be.
There, right there.
oh, here we go.
Oh, ignore my notes there, please. Wasn't planning on showing this, entire public, but, renewal at no increase, it says 23, but, there was some additions that, increased it a little bit, like, taking care of, the total buyout. So that would have to be increased. So I would estimate that about 30,000 if we just did a straight renewal. The next option, just scroll down on the next screen. That's the one I'm recommending, option 1. And option 2 is just, that would be a decrease to the district to save money. But at this time, I think that the better option is option 1.
So in option 1, how much extra is it taking out of the teacher's pockets? What his pockets?
But, well, it depends if what kind of coverage they have.
Right, but
In his sheet, it will show that better, so let him.
So I probably have it still up here. There's some
So the
here.
deductibles are high. I think it's 4,200 for the 4,200 plan.
right.
So this,
What's the per
Premiums?
month
Yeah.
paycheck or whatever?
It's in yellow. Per paycheck will be a couple columns over.
this last column here, oops, let me show full header. This last column is the employee cost per pay period, that the increase by going to this option 1 for next year. That would be the increase per pay period. to that employee. So that much more than what they're used to now will be deducted from their check.
With option one.
Correct.
I mean, you have to have,
Yeah.
it's, there you go. You guys got any questions, statements? This one has a 10,000 roughly increase to the district, cost to the district.
That's what,
Yes, and that's assuming the same number of enrollees and
Right. Do you have
Yeah.
how much extra it is for the other one that's gonna cost the district roughly 30,000? How much?
that wouldn't be, an increase in employees.
well, it would
Well.
it would
go ahead.
increase, yeah, it would increase the family coverage, or the spouse coverage or the children coverage. It would not be an increase to the employee who enrolls in the DHP plan.
So
The 2600
for the spouse, children, and the family. Do you have that?
Yeah.
For just a straight renewal, it'll be the
For the second option, I guess it would be.
Yes, that'll be on, the sheet.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Option number 2,
Okay,
it's on your other sheet.
Yeah.
On the second page, or maybe
Yeah.
it's the second page. Not that one. Well, that may have it too, but the details are shown in, we didn't include option, okay.
no, it was,
Okay,
yeah,
so
So we don't-
I can get that for you.
I don't know. Would you guys like to know?
I'd like to know what has staff looked at this to see what their thoughts are? I mean, how's it gonna
Just
affect them?
selected staff that usually work on it,
Okay.
business office staff, myself.
And it's roughly. I would just like to know how much. I mean, we're talking 10,000, 30,000, so there's 20,000 difference. But
It's just for
It's a-
clarification, if it was just a straight renewal, Steve, and I don't know if we have those
Yeah,
numbers. It says, on here, it says what, I think it was 30 or 28. However, like he said, that includes an increase. So if the district were to eat that, I think it's in the 30s at that point. It's
And
the,
that leaves the staff basically paying
the same.
the same. If and the school eats it all.
it's on the first page.
so if we keep it the same and, as this year, the employee plus spouse, right now, the cost is $1,346.50 per month. District pays $200 of that. Next year, the cost would be $1,454. District would pay $200 of that. Family, right now, it's if you're on the high deductible plan, it's what these numbers are. Then the family would pay $1,445, so minus $200, so $1,245 per month right now for the family under the increased rates. Again, the same plan as we have this year, $1,360 per month. for full coverage.
So what I'm asking is you have this column on this one over here that says, okay, this is option 1 and it's gonna cost increase to the district of $10,884. If you look at the right side, it says cost per pay period increase, right? Employee cost per pay period increase. And it shows at the top $16.15 for employee only. And it moves on down, right? The only ones that are zero is that HDHP 4200 plan. I'm assuming that's the B plan.
Right. And that's what that would be our base plan. That's what, if you enroll in that plan, then your employee coverage won't cost you anything as an employee. This year, the HDHP 2600 is our base plan. So the way we would be saving is by moving that down. It still doesn't make up for the increase in our premiums. They increase basically by 8% across the board. But it helps out on the district side with our budget next year if we only cover that base rate on that HDHP 4200
And it
plan.
includes the $1,600 buyout if somebody doesn't use our insurance.
Right.
That's important.
I got that. So the other option that would cost the district 30,000,
Roughly, yeah.
so roughly 20,000 more. That's what I'm asking, is this employee cost per pay period increase then would be zero on that because the district would be absorbing?
If you would have to move to that HDHP 4200 plan, which is the new one. That's the new, lower tier plan.
If the district covered that, see,
Pardon?
every pay period for the employee, that 1431, I think she's asking, what increase would that be? Or decrease to the savings?
Yeah, I
or
assume that's
increase
what
to
we
the
were
cost?
talking about with the 30,000, going from 10 to 30. Right?
I'm sorry.
$20,000 difference.
I'm sorry, I have some hearing issues and I'm struggling here.
That's
Can you say
all
that
right.
again for
So the $20,000 difference, you're going to the second, to a different one.
Yes,
Okay, so it's gonna cost the district 30,000 instead of 10,000.
correct.
Is that because the district is picking up all of the extra cost and the employee would be paying the same out of pocket as they are this year, or would there still be an increase to the employee
Well, what
out of pocket?
Yeah, if we do it the same next year as we're doing it this year, then that HDHP 2600 plan is our base plan, and so we pay 100% of the employee premium. That employee premium is going up next
That makes
year,
it
so
deductible.
that's where the third, so that's where so we would cover more of it, the cost. So that's where the increase would be for the district. If we switch to the, and make the base plan the HDHP 4200, it's still going to go up and not nearly as much. For the
So they're not
district.
gonna have an option, their only option is really the silver plan or the HDHP 4200.
Well, no, they would have, they could choose any of those three plans.
But yeah, it'd be at a cost for the first.
Okay, so you said that the district right now is covering 200 of the whatever it was.
Mhm.
And then on the other one, we're still gonna cover 200.
Yes,
Right.
that's the proposal.
But was there a third one where the district would cover more to keep the insurance the same cost for the employee?
Oh, yeah. No, not entirely, because with the family premiums are going up along with every, the employee only premiums. And if we stick with only paying $1,200 a year, or $2,400 a year to help cover the family premium, then the employee's going to have to pick up that additional increase above the 2,400.
So what's the benefit to the employees for the 30,000 option that the school is gonna, if we go with that option, that the school pays the 30,000 instead of the 10,000 in increase, what advantage is that to the employees?
Well, first of all, nobody comes out better here because our rates went up by
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. So the question is who's going to pay for that? Does it need to be split, and should it be split between the district and the employee? And that's kind of what we're trying to decide here. So if you stay with if you're enrolled in, like most of our employees are enrolled right now in the HDHP 2600 plan, your benefits are going to stay the same next year. If all you have is employee-only coverage, you wouldn't have any increase. Because the district's going to pick up that 8% increase, right? But if you have family coverage, unless the district says, okay, we're going to pick up your increase as well, then you're gonna have to pay more for family coverage. And that's gonna cost more than $30,000.
Okay, so to keep the cost the same for the employees with the same coverage, the 30,000 isn't even covering that.
Well, it's
It's
covering
gonna
employee
pay
only,
even
but
more.
it's not covering the
Yeah.
increase in the family.
So
coverage.
there's two different options that you're presenting to the board, right? That
Um,
increases the 10,000 and the 30,000
Yeah,
to the school.
not exactly, if I can just make the correction. My recommendation is option one. I basically showed you, I'm trying to show the cost savings that we're proposing because, we're looking at making reductions in our
Yes.
budget. So that's the comparison. That's why I included it. Option one is my recommendation. Of course, it's up to the board. Steve's right, some of the deductibles would still go up, but it would keep most things the same, but I think there still would be some increases in like family addition, if you choose family or children or spouse that we can't control. But basically, the district would be paying for more, but currently, like I said, we don't have many people on the goal. We're trying to find something that.
Yes, I understand that.
Well, most of your people are in that HDHP 2600 plan.
And if we go to the.
And so if you're gonna have your employee only have no increase, they're gonna have to move to the 4200 plan, which means they get less or deductibles and less coverage.
Well, yeah, the deductible, that 4,200 is kind of a shorthand for $4,200 deductible. HDHP 2600 has a $2,600
So their
deductible.
deductible basically doubles. My math is.
Right. So if I'll, and it could be, if we go with this option, it could be that everybody decides to stay on the 2600 plan and absorb the extra $14 per paycheck. But we still wanted to be able to offer a plan that they wouldn't have to pay anything if they didn't want to.
So that's the difference of the 30,000.
Yes.
Is if we let the HDHP 2600 plan, the employee only still be a zero. We covered everything there.
Right.
That's where the difference. Okay, that's what I was trying to get down to, where the difference was.
Yeah.
All right. It's following. Sorry, I'm kind of covering the whole.
What about a more middle? I'm not
Yeah.
trying to.
This has been reviewed at length, even by an outside party for us. And so they've looked at a lot of different combinations. We really need to get it going now so we can do enrollment for employees. So best I could do is probably estimate to the cost of the district if you make any changes to option one.
And we really don't, it's not really an option for us to customize these plans. We can't say, well, what if we had a $3,800 debit? They have certain packages and you know, you get from this. Yeah.
I just hate these things. It always goes up. You have to have it. They got you under a barrel.
I don't think it would be 30,000.
We still have so if you have a spouse that works somewhere else and you can be under their insurance, we still have the payout. That's what you were talking about earlier, right? Where they can take a payout. And
Do you have a
school insurance?
estimate as to
Yeah, we sure do. It's
how
listed on
many
there, I
of them are-
think.
I didn't get an estimate as of today, but in the past, it's about probably anywhere from 12 to 16 employees. It'll vary throughout the year.
So what percentage is that? Almost half? A third? Even more?
Well, all I know is it saves us hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay. Well, I think we're done with the question. this is the beginning of hard decisions that we're gonna have to make here in the next month.
We probably don't have if I could, just because I understand what I think you're asking. If we were to cover that $14 per paycheck for any employee on that plan, I don't think the increase would be 30,000. I don't know if Steve could give us an estimate. I mean, it's rough to do this on the fly. But any estimate on that? If say
Well,
how many people are on it this year?
If everybody stays
17.
enrolled
Oh,
in that plan, it would be $30,000. Now, if they
But-
decide they want
the
something.
goal plan isn't an option, and that currently is. So this replaces it. Well, not the $2,600 one.
Yeah, we can only have 3 plans, and so we took away in this proposal, we take away the gold and add that 4,200 plan.
Do some quick math and figure it out how many pay periods there are. How many pay periods are there?
26.
What was that?
26 pay periods. I just did quick math. It's 27,300.
Well, and
But that's not
the-
including everything. That's just,
you have to add up all of these,
Right.
the goals for both plans.
yeah, I just guesstimated.
Okay. So we have a motion to go with what has been presented, which was option 1, which is going to be a $10,884 roughly increase to the district of cost for actions. But it's also, if the employees stay with the 2,600 plan, it's gonna cost them an extra $14.31 a case.
Almost $400.
Okay.
Which, I mean, yes, that's $400, but it's not.
Over the year for one employee that's selecting that. No.
Yeah. And if they're a family and whatever, then obviously it goes up, but.
All right. You guys ready to vote on this? Any other questions, discussion? So to be clear, we're voting to approve option 1, which is the one that was recommended. Okay. Carson,
Yes.
Lex,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Jim. So, yes, all right. Moving on. 8D, annual renewal of contract for Southwest Food Service. I'll make a motion that we approve contract renewal with Southwest Food Service as presented. But do I need a second?
Second.
Okay. Now we can discuss it.
And we have representatives. I'd like to give them an opportunity to do it.
Thanks for waiting us out.
Yes, well, I promise food service is a lot less complicated than insurance, so. We,
I hope so.
That's what we're all hoping.
yes, no, I promise. We still have some decisions to make, but certainly more simple ones. So Steve's got our presentation that we put up. Before we get into the presentation, I want to take a second to introduce you guys to Daisy Caldera. She is going to be your new GM here in Joseph City. She is going to be split with us between Winslow and Joseph City. She's been the director in Winslow for 16 years, so tons of experience. She has done an awesome job there with SFE over the past couple of years, bringing them out of a more difficult financial position. So I'm really excited to have her in here working with your guys' teams on the ground and working to get us to a better place. So just wanted to introduce her before I get in there.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Awesome. All right. So some of you guys may remember I was here, I think, for your January board meeting. We talked a little bit about BIC and how we can move on. So I'd like to just get into it. If you want me to,
I'm gonna let you-
I'm
I'm gonna let you drive.
beautiful. Plop it right now. We're gonna do about full. All right. Cool. So we've done our introductions. All right. So we kind of demonstrated. I talked a little bit about BIC. I'm not going to quiz you. I don't expect you to remember anything from my last presentation, but I do want to kind of draw out where we are right now. All of the projections that I'm going to show you in terms of financial figures are projections for school year 27. So this is not where your fund balance sits today. This is where, if we make no changes today, this is where I'm projecting your subsidy in the food service fund to end up next year. So the reason that this subsidy is such a large number at this time is because you guys are currently subsidizing paid eligible kids to eat breakfast in the classroom at the elementary school. What that means is obviously you have students who qualify as free, reduced. Those students are subsidized by the government. They pay you $4.50 for every time that child eats a meal. You have paid students who the government only pays 50 cents for, and that's why you're expected to collect that paid revenue from that child. At BIC, at the elementary school right now, we are currently not collecting that paid revenue from every paid child. So that's what's resulting in this subsidy. I want to highlight for you, and I'll draw back to this on future slides. Our revenue per meal right now is $3.56. So just want to highlight that as we move through this. I am here to present several options for you. Two of them are going to kind of be consistent throughout the whole presentation. Number one being SFE is foregoing your guys' typical rate increase that we would do every year. We want to be a good partner to Joseph City and make sure that we are doing our part to make you guys in a better financial position. So this is kind of a gesture of us putting our money where our mouth is, literally, and foregoing that rate increase until we can get to a better, more stable position. We're also recommending that we increase paid meal prices to $2.20 at breakfast and $3.75 at lunch. I want to highlight a couple things. One, those prices would still put you below what the federally recommended standard is right now. The federally recommended weighted lunch price is $4.08. So that is, while it is, a large increase for our community, and that's why I recommended somewhat of a middle ground, it would still leave us below what the feds, in all of their wisdom, think we should be charging students to eat. So you'll see scenarios built in throughout the rest of the presentation where one section will be your outcome should we not increase pricing, the other section will be your outcome should we choose to increase pricing. So the three scenarios that I'm going to discuss after this will be ending breakfast in the classroom, serving breakfast in the cafeteria, keeping those kids whole, but now beginning to charge your paid eligibility students at the elementary school to eat. So they'll be paying either your current $1.75 breakfast price or the proposed $2.20 breakfast price. The second option is going to be restricting students from leaving the campus during the high school at lunch, actually having a true closed campus. We'll discuss kind of what that looks like and just how drastic of a financial benefit that could be to us. I know it won't be an incredibly popular decision within the community, but I just want to present it just so you guys have the full information at your fingertips. And then the final point, and I just wanted to put it out there because I know it was discussed and Brian and Steve and I have been meeting about it and it's been something we've looked at. Just for the sake of full transparency, I've done a mock-up for you guys of what it would look like if we totally ceased serving breakfast. So we can kind of go through that option. So without further ado, we'll look at ending BIC. This is something that I truly think if I called all of the shots, this would be a non-negotiable. This is the most common sense solution in here that truly gets us where we need to go. Right off the bat, your maximum potential subsidy is reduced by 30K. It's nearly cut in half. And that truly is just from collecting that revenue from your paid kids. If you look, your revenue per meal goes from $3.56 to a maximum of $4.07 if you start collecting that revenue. These are, big changes. So it also reduces the burden of serving BIC on your teachers. We're going through an administrative review right now. Part of that process looks like us, prepping for that review, going in with your teachers, watching serving BIC. We have certainly heard some feedback that it's not an easy program to run, and especially if it's one that is financially not beneficial for our food service program. I think that we can, reduce that burden on teachers and still sleep at night that we're making the right decision for our program here. The con would be you are going to reach less students with your breakfast program. That's just the reality. There are going to be students in the morning who are going to choose to play on the playground or choose to hang out in their front yard until they can hear the bell ringing from their house, whatever they're going to do. You will have students who choose not to eat breakfast because it's not sitting in their classroom when they walk in right in front of them. Our next option here is the most extreme scenario, and that is totally ripping the Band-Aid off and getting rid of breakfast. So This does reduce your subsidy. It reduces your subsidy by less than if you were to just NBIC because it is a drastic reduction in meal counts and total revenue.
Project.
Projected, correct. So this would be you're losing all of your breakfast meals, all of that revenue from your breakfast meals. This would leave 200 plus of your currently enrolled students who qualify for free meals, whether that's because they're on SNAP, Medicaid, or filled out an application. Students who truly may be food insecure, who their families truly should be on this program, would no longer have access to breakfast.
So we have over 200 students that are free and reduced.
That was based on the information that I had, yes. Yeah,
Might be a little high. I know it's around 40% of our students. So I don't know where those numbers came, but about 40% are those that qualify.
What's our total number that our school has?
Including preschool and kindergarten,
Well, we
about 400. If we,
So preschool and kindergarten.
so we're looking at 50% with that number.
So this may be from prior year, would have been the last numbers I could have received. So it could be closer to 170 kids, 160 kids, if it's
Yeah.
40%.
I think
But-
it's close.
I think the point still stands that you do have a not insignificant portion of your population who is, an active participant in this program. Additionally, school breakfast is proven to drive attendance, to drive academic performance in the classroom. So it is a valuable part of your school day, with also clearly being a valuable part of the food service fund's operations.
I have a question.
Yeah, of course.
So you have all those students that you say are taking away breakfast. Now, do you know for a fact that they're eating?
No, so they would be losing access. I can tell you, once I sit back down, I can tell you how many of your
Because if they're
students-
not actually using it, then it's not, like, do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
so
not actually being eaten, then it's not, you don't have to feel bad for taking it away.
correct. And this is off the top of my head, I'd have to check. I believe we're serving between 60 and 70% of your free students. So between 60 and 70% of your 40% that qualify as free.
Just wanted.
Yeah, no,
So I'm gonna throw another question on that.
totally.
So at the high school, we got rid of breakfast in the classroom quite a while ago, and that's
Absolutely.
a walk-in type of breakfast that they want to get in.
This one.
How is that working, and what are our numbers like up there with the breakfast?
So it
Because
is,
if we decided to just rip breakfast out of there, then that obviously affects that too.
yeah, so their participation is lower than the elementary school, obviously, because it's not breakfast in the classroom. But you still are feeding, I don't know how many students off the top of my head. I could certainly pull that information for you, but we certainly still do have participation. And because we're collecting that revenue from the paid students, we are actually, not actively losing money on breakfast in high school. Breakfast at the elementary school is the only program that is just by operating on a daily basis, actively driving us further. And this is the final option, and this, depending on who you ask, whether you ask a high school senior or an administrator at the high school, this may seem like an extremely extreme option. But restricting students to the campus at the high school, truly saying, if you are enrolled in school, you have to stay here during lunch. It has the potential to allow us to capture a much larger portion of your students, to capture them, whether it's via a la carte, via reimbursable meals, to provide a lot more to them. Obviously you guys know your community better than I do. This is based on projections. If it would cause a larger uproar in the community than is worth that reduction in your deficit, then that is, your guys' decision to make. But I did just want to present it to you so you guys, have the information to make that decision. So that being said, these are all of the, potential scenarios kind of next to each other. In this graph, you want to have a smaller bar because we are looking at the negatives. So your base scenario is, putting you guys upwards of $80,000 into the net negative next year if we don't make any changes. And restricting high school students, that includes NBIC at the elementary school as well in that scenario, gets us to a potential of a $36,000 subsidy. projected. Obviously, we could go swing.
Still in the negative.
Exactly, still in the negative is correct.
Is there any way to break even?
So we would have to be talking about making some extremely drastic changes. There certainly are scenarios in which we could break even. We would need to talk about going to potentially being a serve-only menu where students get 0 options so we can lay staff off. Because that is truly one of the things that drives you into the negative, is because we have what we would call a minimum service standard, right? At the elementary school, I can't have less than 2 bodies during lunch because I need 1 person to run a register. I need 1 person to actually physically serve the kids, right? So if we, were to eliminate the need for a register and have it be serve only, it would obviously decrease the quality of your program that students are eating, but we could lay a person off. And I know it's a difficult conversation to talk about a reduction in force, but that is a potential option. If I could wave a magic wand and have all of the students be in one cafeteria, that would certainly be the most efficient option, because that truly would give you the numbers to have a sustainable program. But there's any number of options. It really truly is how nuclear are you willing to go on your food service program to make it break even. These are just as a final kind of recommendation. This is what SFU would recommend that we do. NBIC and begin to charge paid students. This is kind of, like I said, really the lowest hanging fruit in this presentation. This is what I would do if it was my students, my district. This is what I would do today. Increasing paid meal prices. Again, those meal prices still put you below the federally recommended blended lunch price. You have room if you want to. Again, how close to break even can we possibly get? If we want to get closer to that federally recommended lunch price, we can, but do you feel that price is something that your community is willing to pay? Right. So, and then restricting students to remain on campus during lunch at the high school. I think I could feel some looks from this direction of the room when I said that. But again, it is an option that I wanted to present to you guys, make sure that we had all the information available. So should all those actions be taken, that would be the projected surplus or projected deficit that we would have. So those are our recommendations, and I'd be happy to revisit anything if anybody has any questions or would like to go further into anything.
Yeah, just hold on and see. But thank you for that presentation.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Good information.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
You guys have any questions?
We might. And we discuss some more things.
Beautiful.
I'm not ready to go to a closed session, so I'll just put that in. That's not gonna.
Is the elementary not closed? So I'm just curious why.
No.
Okay.
The parents can say if they want their kids to stay there anymore.
Yeah, it's an option, but it's not required.
I know we keep squeezing the lunchtime down and trying to keep them there, kind of, sort of. But
I think there's more to not get out so late.
yeah,
Do you want to do a survey tomorrow and see how many?
I don't think we need to do that. I
Go to the survey right now.
I can answer your survey right now. No, I don't want to close the campus.
No. As a parent, I would have been very upset. Yeah. Kids always stand.
Yep.
No.
Okay, so looks to me like getting rid of breakfast in the classroom is obviously a no-brainer. Go ahead and continue serving breakfast in the cafeteria, and we'll see how that goes.
Both cafeterias.
Well, keep the high school the same, right?
Yeah,
Yes, that would be my recommendation.
Yeah.
I just say get rid of breakfast in the classroom. Offer it anytime to.
With the price increase.
And
Yes.
Pricing.
And
You can make that a motion if the board would like.
Actually, this agenda item is just to approve the contract renewal. The next agenda item would
The
be.
price increase.
Yeah.
well, it's and it's the same. I don't know why it wasn't on the same one. So we already made a motion to approve the renewal contract with Southwest Food Services, but what we're saying specifically when with that renewal is we're not closing campus. Here in a second, we will probably, I don't know what we're gonna do with the food service, you'll find out, but we're probably gonna approve that. And breakfast in the classroom is gone, we're gonna go to the cafeteria. Beautiful, okay? It's,
Can we do all that
this
tonight?
just
Do we
seems,
separate
yeah,
them?
Well,
no.
no, it's right there. It's,
That's right there, that's what I'm saying, it seems weird that we did some part with the contract and one other part without, so, okay. As long as we're clear about what we're approving here.
We just had to have a separate vote on the contract.
so we need to do the contract first.
Yeah.
And then the changes.
Redo.
I thought we did the contract.
We,
No,
we
this is,
we just
that's,
seconded it.
that's, we opened and that's what all the discussion. Okay,
So let's vote on that part.
okay, so we're voting on renewing the contract.
Yes.
Yeah, or Lexi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, myself, yes, all right.
Okay, now let's hash out.
So now we'll go to AE. And I'll make a recommendation that we approve the price increases as listed. Do I have a second?
I'll second
Okay. Any discussion? I think we already had it.
Do we need to do the other parts too? The breakfast in the classroom? Or is that
That's what I, no, it's not another one. That's what I'm saying. We, as part of the renewal, we renewed,
Okay.
we just officially said we're gonna renew, but there's gonna be no breakfast in the classroom.
Okay,
And we also said we're not closing the campus,
sorry.
which,
I'm caught up.
but we pulled out the price for some
Yeah,
reason.
so the
So we're approving the price
price
increase
increase
separately.
is separate.
Okay.
Yes.
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 Did you say
Myself,
second?
yes.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Please tell me somebody did second that. Pretty sure was it.
Okay.
It was Lexi, wasn't
I got Lexi. Yeah.
it? Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay.
Jeez, I think I'm hearing.
All right. Brings us to 8F.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, and thank you for the information and thank you for the preparation that
It was
you
put together and we understood it.
greatly appreciated.
No problem.
And don't think that we just saw it for half a second with your presentation. We all saw it previously. And but your presentation was really nice to help clarify some of the questions. that we had. So
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the audit report as presented.
I'll second.
Do we have a discussion or presentation?
There's some backup information that includes,
Yeah.
the audit itself.
Talk about very good information.
Yeah. This is a single year audit of last year. Summary of it, and it looks good. There were not official findings, but on the financial reports, there were, or the questionnaire, there's a questionnaire that they go through, and there were, I think, 3 comments that they left about that. One that I recall offhand, we can look them up here. I can find it, but we didn't reimburse mileage at the highest rate was 2 cents, I think, low on that. But that's, we've already fixed that, Mr. Mills, right? That's on the questionnaire. This one, yeah, that's it. And it is on page,
Actually, the inside cover,
that's it.
and there are 4 items there. And this is the best we've ever done. There's usually anywhere from 10 to 15 items, and we only had 4. Shoot. So we had a lot of people that did a really good job.
Couple of inventory tags.
Driven support. Understand that.
All right, any questions? Let's get it on. Yes. Oh, yeah. So we think we're even. Yes. I thought yes, yes.
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 Okay, thank you. Brings us to 9A. First reading of corrections to policy IDE. Do we motion this? We do.
No, you don't have to on the first reading.
If I could speak to it. I came across this policy and it needed to be updated to reflect where the grades are at the campuses, sixth grade up at the junior high. So when I came across it, made the updates and attached it to your packet and attached the old one as well. So you can see, it should still be on public display. That's the only change to that one. The next one is much larger, and I suggest maybe we take 60 days to review that at least, with the public.
So, I'm sorry, can I go back? To
Yeah,
the
okay.
first one? Because that's, if you look at the updated one, it says, do we want the elementary school to say pre-kindergarten through 6? Don't we want that to say pre-kindergarten to 5?
Yeah, I thought that's what I put.
Yeah, it's 6. You have 6 up.
Okay, I'll make that correction. And that's the new one?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you have 6 through 8.
Okay, so yes, so erroneous on that first line, I'll make that correction and put have the policy out here for public review.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted
No, that's good.
to guess that. Okay, moving on. Where are we at? 9B? I interrupted you and I'm sorry. Where were you?
You may want to break this up into 2 different things, but if we leave it one, I think we should take a little bit longer to review this one because they're not all mandatory. Some of them are just being recommended by the ASBA. So I want to make sure that everyone knows what they would be approving when we do get to those.
But we can have this as the first reading, which needs to go for 60 days, which gives everybody in the community time to look at them. We can look at them and then we know what we're doing when we come to these.
Yeah.
For the second reading and approval of them, correct?
Yeah. Just so you know, it's 455 pages. You thought the cafeteria documents were long, or the audit. Yeah, that's a policy advisory. If you just look at the clean version of the policy, it's a little less. Maybe Mrs. Strong knows.
370. That's it.
Okay. Any more on that? Sound like it? Okay, so we're at 9C, requests for future agenda items. Any requests for future agenda items?
I'd like to do, no, sorry, next one.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about when we get to the next one. So I guess no future agenda items. What's that? What was changes between now and then? Run 9B, upcoming meetings and events calendar. We have that final round of interviews and the community forum on Friday. That doesn't. It says boardroom on there. Yes, sorry.
I just had 2 questions. One was the boardroom is the auditorium, right, for the
Correct.
from 5 on.
Correct.
But I don't know if this is the right time to ask, but what is the procedure for submitting questions to the superintendent?
Okay, so I don't have a problem answering it now. So, the ASBA, Dr. Jeff Smith will be here and he has cards that he has filled out that you'll be able to put a question on.
So like
And
at
then-
5 o'clock or,
So like at 5 o'clock when you come in,
okay,
you can come in and there will be cards available that you can get cards and you can write questions down. We plan on having the National Honor Society, correct? Have we talked to them about that?
I've talked to them about that.
You did talk to them about
I'm
that.
working on the details, but yes.
Okay, but so we're gonna have some students there that will mingle among the crowd and pick up cards and give them back to the ASBA
okay.
gentlemen.
Just from 5 to 6 or also at 6 o'clock when we're in the auditorium? And
So from 5 to 5:30, I do not believe there's a plan to get questions because from 5:30 to 6:30 he's gonna be reading those questions
okay,
and having the candidates answer them. And it'll be not a debate, I don't want to say debate, but like one candidate will be given the opportunity to answer a question first, and then the other one will answer the same question second. And then the very next question will be the opposite candidate gets the first shot at it,
and the second,
type of thing. So both candidates will answer the questions. It'll just be back and forth who gets the first shot at it.
so you said from 5:30 to 6 they'll be answering the questions?
Correct.
And what's going on from 6 to 7? Is this all gonna be from 5 to 6?
6:30.
It's 5:30 to 6:30, I believe.
Okay, because the Facebook has said 5 to 6, meet the candidates, 6 to 7 in the auditorium for.
Okay. So my understanding, Julie can correct if I'm wrong.
I,
My understanding is 5 to 5:30 is a mingle, meet and greet type of thing.
Okay,
And then from 5:30 to 6:30, I believe, is
the forum.
the forum where questions will be asked through the ASBA.
Facebook?
the agenda.
I don't know what it says on Facebook. I'm sorry, I'm not a Facebook
Okay,
person.
well, Facebook says 5 to 6, meet the candidates, 6 to
Okay,
7.
so then it sounds like we need to correct that. It should be 5 to 5:30 is the
Okay,
meet and greet, and 5:30 to 6:30 is the forum.
okay, perfect.
Okay, and the ASBA gentleman will be, I don't say a moderator, he'll be the guy asking the questions. I hope that the community comes out a lot. I would love to see lots of people there to meet these gentlemen and to hear questions answered and things like that. The board will be there, but we're not answering any questions or anything. We're just seeing how they interact with the community possibly, and it's gonna help us make our decision how they interact with the community and answer questions and things like that. So that's the plan of that, and I would love to see lots of people there.
Oh, and the Facebook post just says that the evening begins at 5 p.m.
Okay,
It does not give any other times, so
Okay, I've seen several of them, so maybe
there's only one.
there's only one?
Yeah, there's only been one post about the evening officially from the school. So if you've seen something else that wasn't from the school, Julie only posted one.
Okay.
Mr. Fields posted.
Or Mr. Phil, I assumed it was,
We worked on it.
sorry.
Just for
He's
clarification,
the face behind the.
Book.
Yeah.
okay, and for clarification, Brian?
the board meeting actually does take place in the boardroom.
Yes.
The
Yes.
public event, so you'll reconvene as a board down there, the way I understand it, and then again, reconvene back here following that stuff.
Yes, so the board will be doing interviews. That will be an executive session to do interviews. And that's before 5 o'clock, right?
This is the agenda for that meeting, by the way. It's posted right now.
Okay, and then we'll have the public meet and greet and the forum. And then when that is finished, the board will come back to the boardroom and have an executive session where we discuss possibly results. Or, whatever. We'll be down here in the district office.
But that won't be a public.
But that's not a public.
This, if you choose to act on that last agenda,
Yes,
that would be public.
when there's an action, if we're gonna choose to offer, we will have a short public meeting that people could be at. We can't tell you what time it is because we have no idea how long it's gonna take us to do whatever we're discussing. So, but yeah, we would come back into a public meeting to say this is who we're going to give a contract to or offer. Enter. It's not actually give a contract to. It's enter into negotiations with.
We go there that night?
Yep. Yes, that's correct. Any other questions about that? Anybody like cleared up?
What did you say Julie, about entering a friendly, they're gonna be doing prom? Stuff, so
Oh,
we need to go.
They're just gonna be decorating for prom on Friday behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And
It'd be
then
best to go.
after the board comes here, they'll resume decorating for prom.
You put it 3.
So
Yeah.
just so you know, we had the first request for the auditorium.
Yeah.
Wow. They prom people did not put in a request for it until after we had it. So it's not like I'm stomping on their toes. I'm actually
Probably
being
didn't
gracious
think-
and allowing them to stomp on my toes.
Well, we would have just said, no, it shouldn't affect anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The current was gonna be closed anyways. and-
Yeah, so we should be good.
Fine.
Okay.
We have one question. Will that meeting on Friday be on YouTube to watch, or is it only in person?
Only in person. Tell Meet it's much easier to meet them in person than it is on YouTube.
I'm sure it is. I just have a lot on Friday. I apologize. There's
I understand. I understand. That's a lot of people. I was just hoping that's the first time we have most people can show up. But I would love to have a large contingency. Okay, then our next regular board meeting is May 12th. Wow, we're in promotion and graduation. We're in.
Yeah.
We have a long list of that as well.
I'd like to have another budget meeting where we make decisions if we can, because I believe, speaking for myself, if we are needing to eliminate some things, the sooner we can let those people know, the better. Any other board members?
So we have multiple options of what we can do with that. So like a budget work session, you can't make any decisions on it.
Right.
So that wouldn't be.
And it has to be public.
To do that, and that is also public. You could have not an emergency, you could just have an extra board meeting. Yeah, a special board meeting where you could enter into executive session and discuss employees and positions and things like that. Or we can, I believe we all received today a thing of possible reductions, correct?
Is it email? I
Yes.
haven't been able to take my emails all day.
So you should be able to look
Okay.
on your email and see a list of possible reductions and then those, so Brian, Mr. Fields and Steve have been working hard at giving us the options. There's lots of options there, let's put it that way. Multiple options. And so you can, they're gonna have recommendations of what they would want to do. So you can interact with them individually.
Yeah.
And then we can bring that to the May board meeting and say, this is what our reductions are gonna be and this is our budget. So it's how, as a board, how, those are our options. What would you like?
I would just want to know as soon as possible if I was the potential of not being renewed. But I also don't want to do a whole bunch of meetings and stuff like that too. I mean, I know that our other people have things to do as well.
Right, I mean, what's one more?
And I'm fine with having another one so we can take care of it.
So we can discuss this because we're talking about future. What would you all like to have another meeting? Yes. Okay. Keep saying yes. Okay, how about a date? And we're talking not a budget work session, we're just talking a special board meeting.
Yes.
So we can make decisions.
So we can make decisions, because we can make decisions.
When is a good time to do that? Sometime, probably not Friday.
Because we need to make these decisions before the budget's set, right?
Correct. We could do it Friday morning because we are doing this
No.
Friday afternoon.
No. That's a really long day. It's gonna be a long enough day.
I'm understanding that. I'm just saying it is that.
You're confident with what you sent out today, right? So we don't really need any prep time for that. Next Tuesday, what's going on next Tuesday? How about you said dates? I'm
Would
sorry.
this be an evening, like,
Yes.
The-
Run it just like a regular board.
okay,
Friday the 24th, there's high school track.
But another Tuesday.
fine with Tuesdays.
We have no activities on the 21st of April.
Is that next Tuesday? It's fine with me.
Nor the 28th.
Do the 21st. Everybody all right with the 21st?
Yeah.
It's fine.
6 o'clock?
I'll make it work.
Steve,
I don't have that.
is that who's gonna be there or is the principals going to be there?
Well, if we go into an executive session, then just us.
Yeah.
But, yes, that's correct.
So,
So 21st, 6 o'clock. Special board meeting.
And that's in the budget session.
Well, we can go into.
That's fine.
We'll run it just like a regular board meeting. There'll be an agenda. It won't be a very big agenda. But there'll be an agenda because the agenda is basically going to be decide on cuts the budget purposes. Does that sound good? Yeah. Can that be a sorry? Can that be an agenda? I mean, we're gonna do the pledge and location. We can do a call to the public, and then we'll do just
Discussion on possible.
discussion of
approval
possible cuts,
budget cuts.
discussion of possible budget cuts.
and we'll need to possibly, depending on the positions, send messages to them about possible
Executive
executive session and all of that. Does that give us enough time?
Yep. And that's okay. Any other requests for upcoming meetings right now? All right. I will make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Myself, yes.
Yes.
Yes. We are adjourned at 7:27. We have stuff to sign.